Alright guys, welcome back to my vlog. My name is Stefan Persson, also known as Imphenzia, and I hope you've all had a good day so far and that you're doing something really exciting. Are you developing a game? Are you making sound effects music? Doing something totally different? Maybe 3D? Blender? I don't know. Tell me in the comments and I'll be excited to check out whatever you're working on as well. Since I've started the vlog, I got really excited and as usual, when I get interested in something, I want to jump straight at it, and the first thing you do, what do? You buy more gear. That's what you do. I already got my Panasonic GH5 camera that I do most of my filming with. It's really good for a lot of stuff, but if I'm going to do the vlog, I want to have something a little bit more handy that I can carry around with me. In my pocket maybe, that's a little bit more compact that I can whip out. So this is the box, and last time I ordered from this shop, at Cyberphoto, not sponsored by the way, I got a candy bar in here. So let's check if we did. Hopefully we'll get some high score. Judging by my DIY videos, I should probably be really careful with this knife. I tend to cut myself, like I did with the nail extractor the other day. Okay, away from me. And away from me. La la. Sony RX100 VII. I think it's fairly newly released, this one as well. So I also ordered the GPO spare batteries, 2 of these, and they're meant to be compatible with whatever's in this Sony camera, and a charger for that one as well, because I've noticed when I do filming I go through batteries like crazy, so I'm always going to be bringing a few extra with me. What really attracted me about this camera was in particular the autofocus. I want to have something that I can rely on autofocus wise, and that's what impressed me the most with this camera when I saw some of the videos and some of the specs. So I think that's hands down the most important feature for me at this point. The other one was the mic input that everyone probably is raving about. I'm coming straight out of nowhere from this one, out of the blue, so I had no clue what to... people have been waiting for something like this for years and years. I just, as usual, come from left field and I have no clue what I'm doing. I'll just jump straight in. So the first time I was going to record sound effects, I bought a Zoom H4n, a little compact handheld. Well, I thought it was compact. Speaking of the size in the hand, it was massive compared to what I thought it was going to be, this little sound recorder like this. But it turned out to be quite a big handheld one. Never mind, I went with that one to a shooting range and I thought I'm going to record some sound effects here. It's going to be awesome. Some nice shotguns and pistols or handguns and things like that. So I took out the recorder, started to record, super excited, spent about 3 hours there. Came back home, couldn't wait for all these awesome sound effects of weapons smacking away. And when I listened to it, I was so disappointed. It sounded like popcorn. Or someone snapping their fingers like this. It was the most lame sound you can ever imagine. So I googled straight away, why is the sound crap when I record weapons? And then I realized, okay, it's going to cost me some money to record sound effects, especially if I'm going to do weapons and things. Because what you do is you have a whole array of microphones. When I googled it and looked at YouTube, people had like 5, 7, 12, 16 microphones, and all expensive ones as well. And what you do is you place the different microphones at different distances, all up close to the weapon, with microphones that can handle really high volumes, high SPL, sound pressure levels. And then you have microphones spaced out, like 10 meters away, 15, 20, 40, and then way out in the forest we'll stick some really sensitive microphones, and that's to pick up all the different echo. I mean, the whole thing about a weapon is the echo and the reverb that it gives off. You have to really capture that, and you cannot do that with a single mic that's getting the blast. You need to space the microphones out and gather all these different perspectives, because when you hear a gunshot, basically it's just the sound bouncing about and your ear will adapt to the different levels. That's what I think anyway. I don't know hardly what I'm going on about, but what I figured out by reading these things is that you need to have all these microphones, record all these sound effects from different perspectives, bring it into a sound editor and merge them, mix them together, and that's how you get a sound that sounds like a proper weapon. So as I said, long story short, or short story long, I just went out and bought loads of microphones. I didn't even know if I was going to make any money on universal sound effects. Why didn't I just start recording something simple, like, I don't know, footsteps or ambiences in the forest? No, I had to go for the weapons that cost the most and was the most tricky to record. So I got a whole bunch of microphones, and then I realized, okay, recorder needs to be able to record a lot of channels at the same time. So I had to buy better recorders. So I ended up with this Sound Devices 633 that can do 3 channels. I thought it could do 6 because it's 633, but it turns out it can do 6, but only 3 microphones, so I had to buy the extender so I could double that one up to 6 channels. But never mind. I got some other recorders as well, like the Sound Devices 788. Again, thought, oh great, 8 channels, but I want to record in 192 kilohertz, and that can only do, well, it can do 8 channels, but only at 96 kilohertz. So it could only do 4 channels in 192. Never mind, I digress. I hate that word. I speak too much. Let's get back to this then. So, the Sony RX100 Mark VII. I'm gonna open it now. Didn't I get a candy bar? Got it. Snarly. I thought it was called Snickers. I'm on a diet, so I'm gonna eat this slowly. Oh, I'm excited now. Come on, guys. Okay. The usuals, save the environment thing. I think that's what it says. Ooh, it's quite small. That's not the neatest of bags, but okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that size. Let's get rid of this thing first of all. Okay, so yeah, I'm happy with this. First impression then is quite compact. Seems to be a nice big screen at the back. Flip motion, simple, nice. Feels quite solid, tight. Really fiddly with the buttons, quite small, but that's okay. I wanted a compact camera, so I can't really complain about the button sizes. Small dial here, distinct, feels really distinct, that's good. Pretty much only filming with this one. I'm going to New York City next month, so this is going to be perfect. I'm probably not going to bring the GH5, I want to travel light. I'm going to be bringing this little RX100 Mark VII. Do you know what I forgot to buy a memory card. How stupid is that? Got some spare ones, but no big and fast ones. I need to buy a memory card. I hate that. The battery hatch should be here somewhere. I guess there should be one in here. So I should show you guys. I don't really do unboxings, so apologies for lack of experience here. So I'll show you exactly what was in the box. So you had these manuals. I guess I should do this properly. Warranty. European warranty, register your product online, reference guide again, tips for accessories, digital still camera, startup guide. Why is it called a digital still camera? I'm gonna use it for video. So that was the paperwork. I run my own business, so I love paperwork, really. Here's the charger plug. So I live in Sweden, which is in the European Union. And stuff from my plaster. Never mind, this is the wall plug anyway for the charger, like a standard phone size one. And also it's a small USB charger. I think this one's called micro USB or... So here's the little strap that goes for the wrist strap. Here are mounts for, I think it's if you're going to use like a shoulder strap for it. And finally, the original Sony battery. So this is an NP-BX1 battery. So let's summarize then. If you get rid of the paperwork here, you get rid of the paperwork, get rid of the plastic. This is what was in the box. You've got the camera, you've got a little wrist strap, charger cable with this Android, older style Android, not the USB-C one. Look it up, what it is. The Sony NP-BX1 battery. 2 mount things for a shoulder strap and the wall plug itself. So this is the EU one. Camera size, let's recap on that one. Let's say my palm is this big. Well, then the camera is about this big. Let's start it up and see what happens. So I open the battery hatch, fit the battery in, and let's see if it's got a charge. The on button is on top here. Okay, that was the flash. The on button is here. Yeah, you press this little button on top. First thing you do is you get to set your language. I want to set English. Time and date we want to set. And you cannot pick Stockholm, but I can pick Berlin, which is the same time zone. And then it goes into for some imaging edge, whatever that is. I guess I'll have to look at it. And then it pops out and fully zoomed out. Get that length. Let's see if I zoom in or not. This is how long it takes to zoom out, or zoom in, and zoom out. Okay, I'm gonna have to spend some time figuring this out. Maybe I can do a recap later on when I've learned a little bit. Yeah, I think I'll finish this one here, but what I will do is I'll show you this. I also bought this since I've got a film with it, and it doesn't have a built-in ND filter, a gray filter. Therefore I bought this. So here's an adapter. It's a third-party one. It's not the Sony original. This one only cost 150 kroner, which is about $15 or something like that. And basically you take this one and you glue it onto here, and then you can fit this ND filter. And again, I actually bought a cheap one this one. Last time for the GH5 I bought a little bit more expensive, and I believe, well, you're supposed to spend money on a filter. But I wanted to give the cheap ones a go at least to see how much of a difference it is. So this is the JJC variable neutral density filter, ND filter or gray filter. A gray filter or a variable one is that you can twist at the tip of the lens and it'll darken the image so you can have the proper exposure time. Basically, you don't want to change the shutter speed too fast, because if you film then everything will look like it's frozen in time. If you have pouring water or something at car drive past, it'll look like a bunch of still images. So what you need is this variable ND filter, so you can quickly adapt and keep the shutter speed to get some motion blur in your image. And a variable one's really good because you can quickly twist it. There are fixed ones as well, but you don't want to be changing filters all the time. Even though they're better quality, probably just have a single one, because you can get some colorization and distortion. But I mean, I color grade into some cinematic stuff anyway, so I don't think I'll notice too much. Let's open this. So this one comes in a case. That's nice, solid case. Oh yeah, okay, so it's a generic case because the filter is only this small. So I got the 52 mil filter, and I hope that's going to be a good size. Same, so this adapter is 52 millimeters as well. So this is what it looks like. And if you twist this filter, you'll probably see that. Now you can see me do it. And now you can't. Let's actually fit this straight away as well. Should tidy up a little bit first here. Mosquito. There you go. No more. Sleeping now. And let's have a look then. So now I'm meant to glue this thing. I don't really like this part where you need to glue onto a brand new camera. That costs a fair amount of money. So I guess you get two, so I guess one's spare. There are no instructions as far as I know. Nope. So I'm just gonna have to wing this. There is a QR code here. I should check what that does. I should mention that this is the Kiwifotos LA-52RX100 for Sony RX100 camera. And on the site it didn't say specifically that it had support for the Mark VII, but I didn't see that it didn't say that it didn't support it, and I guess it wasn't new enough information, so I hope that it fits now. I should check how far this goes out. Yeah, should work, but it's... So it already comes with some adhesive, so I'm going to take this off. I'm just trying to peel this adhesive protection stuff off. I'm going to be fitting it with the logo on top. I just think it looks nicer. Otherwise there are no notches or anything like that I need to worry about. And I'll do it while it's fully zoomed out as well. So the logo is on top. There's a slight ridge here as well on the lens that I think will help to guide me. I align the top. I think I did okay. Thanks to the... So there, you probably won't see that, but there are two slightly bent ridges that pop out, and those help you to guide when you're about to glue this on. So this is, again, I'll just say it again, so because I couldn't find much information. So this is the RX100 Mark VII, and I'm using the Kiwifotos ND filter holder and adapter, and it's the Kiwifotos LA-52RX100, and it seems to fit so far. Glued it on now. I guess that'll take some time to cure. If you push it, apparently it goes in. It seems to work all right with the zoom and everything. Yep. And the outer diameter is about the same size as the optics or the lens itself. And now this should just screw on. And this is the 52 millimeter, and for the ND filter, it's the JJC digital filter, variable neutral density filter, 52 millimeters NDV it says. model JJC F-ND-V52, and it's a 7mm 0.28 inch aluminium frame. So now I've got my variable ND filter on here, and I won't touch this too much till tomorrow. In a few hours I'll be taking this on the train. So this is what I'm going to be filming the vlog with as well, and I'll combine the footage. I'm currently recording this into a Panasonic GH5, and I'm using the Olympus 17mm lens for this one. I'll put some details in the description. I'm recording the audio with two microphones at the moment. One is the Rode NTG3 shotgun microphone, and I'm also recording with a Rode Video Micro mic, which is plugged into the camera. So thanks a lot for watching this video unboxing of the RX100 Mark VII, and also the variable ND filter that I went with, the JJC filter, and the Kiwifotos adapter that fits onto this. So stay tuned for some more reviews with this one on when I've used it a little bit more. So take care everyone, and I hope you have a great day, and go out and film stuff, do sound effects, do music, do games. What do you do actually? Put in the comments what you do, and do that, as long as it's fun. You should do fun stuff, that's good. Here I am on my way to my new job. I've started a game development studio with a guy, and we're going to be jointly developing a game until the end of the year. So we've got ourselves a new office, and that's where I'm heading in today. I got the train at 5:15 this morning, and I'll be running real early days. So I'm in Stockholm Södra now, which is Stockholm. I'll be working from 6 o'clock until about 2:30, where I have to head off and get the kids again. I'll film some clips today, and we'll see where this takes us. So, oh yeah, I'm shooting this with the new RX100 Mark VII, so I'm quite excited to see how it is. It's quite compact. I like it so far.